I want us to take this time and discuss about this white and black situation where they are killing each other and tearing each other apart and exploiting each other in the name of racism and pride, you know. One race is fighting to dominate, the other one is fighting to survive, and there is bloodshed and lives being lost every day, you know. And it's heartbreaking that we humans we will embark in such a very dirty game. At this point in time, I'm not gonna be pointing a finger at the perpetrator of this whole scenario and the oppressor. No. Because the conventional way when stuff like this happens, we blame the perpetrator. We think it is a job of the perpetrator to create peace. But let's look at it this way. There is a situation where black people are the victims, and they have been victims for hundreds of years. The victims of the white race. And the blacks expect the whites to behave, and the whites expect to hold onto their notion of supremacy. And so the whites are hurting and the blacks are hurting because they both are fighting to maintain their positions. If anyone asks my personal opinion concerning this issue, I look back into my life experience and where I come from and what I have seen and experienced my entire life. I will say it is time for blacks to begin to think hard instead of rioting, instead of hurting people, and instead of destroying properties in the streets, in stores, looting. It doesn't provide a clean image of a responsible black person. Violence never rights a wrong. I've never seen that happen. There is a reason why the modern white person is jittery about black people. There is a reason why the modern white person doesn't feel comfortable, very comfortable around a black person. We shouldn't pretend as if we don't know what is going on. We know that the white person is carrying a burden that doesn't belong to him. A burden that belongs to his forefathers. We also know that a white person is a warrior from time immemorial. When they left their origins and conquered the world, they faced terror. They faced a world that was treacherous. They faced climate that was very harassing and unfriendly to them. They had to develop a lifestyle to meet up with the terrain they found themselves in. So what happened that we cannot understand the attitudes of our own brothers? Why they behave the way they do? They are survivalists. It's by instinct. They will fight, they will kill to survive. Anything that would threaten a white person, he would defend himself without thinking. It's in his nature because the environment he finds himself in prompts him to be that way. It will take a lot of patience that we will see later on in this very unfolding that I'm putting together. That it will take some patience, a lot of courage, a lot of work to bring back the brother from that state of chaos, from that state of panic to a state of calm where he or she will feel comfortable again, feel at home and settle, and know that we are family. It's the responsibility of a black person to make that to happen. As I said before, there's a reason why the modern white person is jittery about black people. The past always haunts us, no matter how hard we try to hide from it. It will haunt us. We can pretend as if we've forgotten. It's gonna haunt us. Unfortunately, a modern white person has to defend and fight against something that is not of his making. The sins of his forefathers is what he has to fight against the rest of his life in this generation that we live today. It's a reality that we are refusing to accept, and that is why these problems, they continue. In an effort to do so, the white person gets buried in the same messes history has already, or history is already holding. They fight against something that is not of their making. In an effort to do this, they are buried in the same messes that history holds. It is the responsibility of a black person, black people, to create an avenue for peace. The peace they want with the white people to reign anywhere in the world is the total responsibility of a black person. I don't want to know how he's going to do it. The thing is the responsibility of a black man to create peace within him and a white person. Both blacks and whites should know that they both have the same predicament. The same. The past is haunting both the blacks and the whites. The past is haunting both sides. There must be closure. We must find closure. If we cannot close the past, there is going to be no peaceful future for both the blacks and the whites. The past has to be carefully analyzed and slowly buried. Analyze it. Strategically work on how we are going to slowly bury it. Put it in the grave. And this will only happen through the efforts of both the blacks and the whites. You know, One thing I have realized growing up as a young man is there are no major disparities between the black people and white people. There are just little problems that, when well taken care of, there is going to be a very great relationship between blacks and whites. Stereotypes has taken that away. We realize that amongst the races, what we call race, because the human race is one race, but we have stratified and tried to break it. When you look at people of different colors, people come from different colors and traditions, we realize that the blacks are much more attracted to whites, and the whites are much more attracted to blacks than any other people. Something is always connecting the two, but something is always also pulling them apart. We have to find that out. We are losing something. We are losing a lot. There must be closure. The past has to be carefully analyzed and slowly buried. And this will only happen through the effort of the white person and the black person. Both have to work together for this to happen. Anger and vengeance will not do the job. Never. Shooting will not do the job. Never. Whites will never ever, in no way, till the world will ever come to an end, defeat black people. It will never happen through killing them. It will only create an event of defeat for the white person, because that's who the black person is. They are resilient. You cannot kill all of them. You can't suppress all of them. The whole world has ganged up on the black continent for a long time. They didn't bring them down. They are not going down. The world is becoming intelligent now, so black people too are adapting to the situation too. We should not forget that the black continent is the only continent now that holds most of its natural state. And Africans, the black continent, they are not being fooled. Maybe a couple of them are not smart for now, but that is getting over. Anger and vengeance and violence and killings will not bring peace between the blacks and the whites. On the contrary, what I want to say here is this: whites are on the losing side of life by not collaborating with their brothers, the black people. There is a lot of catching up to be done between the blacks and the whites. Killing or destruction of property will not do it. Another approach, an approach that we have never tried, should be used. The lessons one of our life masters, Jesus, taught was this: then came Peter to him and said, Lord, Lord, how oft shall my brethren sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times. Jesus said unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, But on today, I say 70 times 7. And this you can go to the book of Matthew, chapter 21, chapter 18, verse 21 to 22. I just want to let you know that forgiveness here, when I talk about forgiveness in this situation, it is not just a nonchalant action. It is not just by carelessly sitting down and say, okay, we're going to forgive you because the Bible says we should forgive, or because we are spirit beings and so we will just forgive. That's not what I mean. That's not my interpretation. That is not what I am trying to say here. Forgiveness here should never be a nonchalant action. No. It is a well thought out way of letting go in any way that the other party, the other side which is being oppressed, the other side will feel, the other side which is oppressing will feel the price being paid and the value thereof. This means if blacks have to forgive whites, it should be in a way that the white community have to really feel the price being paid and the value of that price. When they feel the price, they feel the value, they will respect it and they will work harder to make sure that forgiveness works for both parties. And that is a good thing. Nobody loses in such a situation. Everybody gains. There is joy that is going to ensue. It should be a well thought out way of letting go. That the black people will let go no matter what, to try to let go in a way that the other party will feel the price, being paid and the value thereof. That is my own concept. That is the way I look at it. This way, the Forgivers Act will not be taken for granted. No. It is the responsibility of the oppressed to create the peace they are looking for. It is a job. It is a job of the oppressed to create an avenue for the peace they are looking for with the oppressor. It's a job to do that. If the oppressor knew the way to peace, if the oppressor knew that peace could be achieved, and he or she knew the way of peace, oppression will not be necessary. And I believe this makes sense. If the white people really knew that, if they knew the way to peace, they knew the way they can do things for peace to reign in all the cities, in all the towns, in all the counties in the United States between the blacks and the whites, I believe they would do it. They don't know it. It is now our job to work towards finding that central point where the blacks and the whites can figure out where the peace is found and do something about it. Emmanuel Malo is my name, and I hope what I said does make sense. Please, you can visit us on Facebook, search my name, or go to facebook.com/exploration or facebook.com and you search for pages. We have lots of pages. I'll remind, we have My Soul and I devotion. We have America Calling, True Love Festival, recommend someone or something, go to Facebook Exploration, Facebook, and you search my name. You can also go to our website at www.emalo.com. Thank you for listening.